You're locked into the Dare to Be Great podcast with Manny D. Rosa. Now let's walk this journey together.
What's up, my greats? How's everybody doing out there? Hope everybody's good. Here's another episode of the Dare to Be Great podcast. I am Manny D. Manny D. Rosa, Jam 3 Productions, jam3productions.com, and all that goodness. Like I said, hope everybody's good out there. Hope everybody's being productive. As for me, this week is funny, and y'all producers know this happens regularly and shit. You know, you put together some work that it's for this over here. And then when you finish, you listen to it and like, damn, this came out. This is knocking and shit. This joint is really, I can't put this over here. This got to go over here and shit. And you like making those decisions, changing the plan and shit. But then you got to hurry up and bang out something that's for that over there. For, you know what I'm saying? So that was the kind of week it was for me and shit. So I got a new joint coming in today, coming back from the engineer. Shout to D-Tracks. The Attic Studio, New York, in the Bronx. You've heard me mention him before. My go-to engineer. Been mixing my stuff since most of my stuff since 2013. Normally, I'm in the same room. Over the years, I'm normally in the same room with him while he's mixing my stuff, and I have some input and this and that. But since COVID, now we're in the habit since last year. I just send him stuff. He mixes it. By now, he knows my sound. He knows how I like my drums and all my textures, and he knows, what I'm looking for the most part. So, and then, I send him stuff and he sends it back. So I should be getting something new from him today, tomorrow. So looking forward to that. And I got something new in the chamber to send to him tonight. So that's what kind of week has been. Just trying to bang out a bunch of new joints. There's certain weeks, because of the different things that I juggle, there's sometimes a whole week goes by. There's times where 2 weeks go by and I haven't worked on no new music and shit. So when I have a week where I was able to focus on music and stuff like that, that feels good. That feels good and shit. So I wanted to get on here and get some of this caffeine and shit. Yes, in case before anybody asks, yes, it is coffee in the cup. This time it's coffee in the cup. Kind of need that. It was a long night. I think I didn't lay down till 5 a.m. last night trying to get a bunch of stuff done. So well needed, much needed. I wanted to talk about something today that is really, I've seen not often, but I've seen often enough over the years about producers who feel because we do this thing for a living that they feel they have to act a certain way, which never makes any kind of sense to me. Producers who, let's be honest, producers who ain't really did too much in their career, but they want to walk around like they superstars, like they did a lot, and they really ain't do much. And not that you should act that way when you did a lot. Let's keep it real. Even if you got a long resume, you still should be humble and all of that stuff. But I could tell a whole bunch, and I'll tell a few stories, but I could do a whole podcast just telling stories about how people just acted certain ways, like certain, you know them from a distance and you cross paths with them and, might meet up at different events or have mutual friends, and then you decide to work. And then all of a sudden, like, as you get to know them, like, the whole persona changes. Like, this is how they really are, this is who I kind of signed on to work with and shit. Even one guy I can remember, like, he was doing some stuff and I was doing, and I always like to bring value and bring stuff to the table that you might not. If I'm working with you, I've added a bunch of stuff to my skill set that when I come to the table, I can say, oh, well, if you got this, then I'll take care of this and this. I could do this also. I'll handle this part of it, of the work. And I was like, this guy, I was like, damn, what I do, these other things that I do, I I could really help this guy out and shit, you know? So I signed on to work with somebody, and the more you get to know them, you're like, yo, you dreading just being around it. Like, you got to show up today and work with this guy and spend the day with this guy. And because, you know, it's just draining. It's just like he's bad attitude, don't know how to treat people. And like the way he mouths off of people is just like, I can't be around that kind of energy and shit, you know? So you just find yourself trying to get through the work. You're trying to get through the work just to finally be done with it, and so you can move on to the next thing and shit. Like that's not a great place to be in. And please don't be that dude and shit. You never want to be that dude. And it's funny because sometimes, and the person might be dope as hell, might be super talented, great work ethic, but then like, you know, you see the way they treating their people, and like just, you know, just thinking that they have the right to look down at people, and the way they talk to people, and like it's like I always say, nobody wants to work with an asshole. And excuse my language, but I can't be no more frank than that. Nobody wants to work with an asshole. It's just be a good human being. It don't matter what you do for a living, what aspect of this music thing, or what you do with your music. And you know, some people might be into sync licensing, and some people might be into getting placements, and some of y'all might, you know, might be into selling beats online. And whatever you do, like, just be a good human being and shit. That's all. Like, I know if we worked together in the past, and all of a sudden I got this new thing going on, like, damn, this person came to mind, you know, that phone's gonna ring because I had a good experience with you last time. So, you know, like, just being that part alone, if it was like you finished working with somebody and you left a good taste in their mouth, like, damn, dude is super cool, dude is, you know, and the talent, please trust me when I tell you this. You could be an average, slightly above average beat maker, right? But super, super cool as hell. The phone will keep ringing. Because people, you know, you're magnetic. People want to be around you and shit. People love the experience. You know what I'm saying? You over deliver. You whatever. Like your beat making, you're not freaking. You know, you're not Timberland. You know what I'm saying? But just being around you and the vibe and the experience and all that, like people, human beings gravitate to that because we humans first before we producers. So if you focus on being a good human being, and that kind of goes a long way and shit. When people like, that drives me crazy when people act like they superstars and like, dude, you ain't kind of did too much in this field. Why you acting like that? Why you acting like, you know, like you bigger than what you really are and shit. I can remember we had some business in Virginia. So we flew in some talent and shit. We flew in somebody, and before this, we were kind of getting to know the manager. The manager was cool as hell, but whenever we showed up wherever the manager was, he rolled out the red carpet for us, and you know, make sure our drinks was right and make sure this or that. Like, we was cool, mad cool. So we knew the talent from a distance and shit. Like, we knew it in passing or whatever, but never really like spent time with the person. And then that time in Virginia, flew them out, blah, blah, blah. And then like we finished the work, and I kind of was like, a couple things like rubbed me the wrong way. But I was like, is he really, like, you start second guessing somebody. Like, is he really like, no, maybe I listened, I heard that wrong or whatever. But then after the work was done and we driving around trying to find something to eat, and we in the same car together, and we out grabbing a bite together, and you watching how he's treating the waitress like shit, and he's treating this person like shit, and he just cocky, and I'm like, dude, we work in music. You're not like creating the cure for cancer. Like, you know, we just make music and shit, you know, like, like how you that cocky and acting like you better than people. And we kind of work in music. Like that don't make sense to me and shit. To give you the flip side of that, I mentioned my engineer D tracks and shit. Hit him up on Instagram, The Attic Studio NYC. Shout out to D tracks and shit. Super, super, super cool human being and shit. Is it cool that the engineer that I spent all these years with, is it cool that he knows how I like my drums? Sure. Is it cool that he knows my sound after all these years? Is it cool that he knows my textures and how I like my mixes and what I like, stuff I like in the front, out front, and you know, like all these different details of my sound and shit. Like, is it great that you got an engineer, you know, that you work with, that knows all this stuff? That's great. Is it great that you build a good working relationship with that person? Awesome. 2 thumbs up. But me and him over the years have gotten into some deep personal conversations, you know, during sessions where we've talked about life, we've talked about goals, we've talked about our children, we've talked about, you know, relationships, so there's more of a bond over the years that I feel comfortable talking with him about it. You know, during session, we talk about anything and shit. It's open now and shit. We've talked on the phone about stuff we were going through, whatever. So that's what it's all about, building relationships and shit. Like, please understand. And because I have that relationship with him, like, I'm genuinely rooting for him. When something good happens and he calls with good news about something that happened in his personal life, I'm like, ugh, yes. Like, genuinely, I'm pumping my fist. I'm giving the Tiger Woods, you know, fist pump. Like I'm amped and shit. I'm happy for him because he deserves it. He's a good human being and he deserves it and shit, you know? When I see he made some upgrades in his gear, I'm telling everybody next to me, yo, look what D got. D just got this. He just added this to the setup. And like, I'm proud. I'm happy for him. You know, like, nobody's rooting for him more than me and shit. You know, even if there's stuff that I don't tell him, you know, I hope he knows that from here I'm rooting for him and shit. Like, when I see, oh, damn, he's in the same room working with these, you know, household name producers, or he mixed a record by this R&B singer, or he, you know, had one of my childhood idols, you know, one of my childhood hip hop heroes in the studio, and I'm like on the phone, yo, did you really have this dude were you really recording this guy? Da, 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 da. And like, yo, I'm super happy for him, rooting for every little achievement that he gets, you know, because we both trying to grow along the way and do things and build stuff. And like, we've talked about business and business taxes and business credit and like, you know, that type of thing. Like, so nobody's rooting. When you build those relationships, then you genuinely have people on your side rooting for you. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's funny because like, I don't have to call him to talk about music. I could call him to, yo, checking up on you, da 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 da. I could call up Chael, one of my musician friends and shit, who's a drummer and shit, / actor, like close. I could call up Tick, you know, videographer, filmmaker, and we can not talk about what we shooting. Like, you know, how's the family, what you up to today, da 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 da. Me and Tick have talked about all kind of personal stuff over the years. So just building those relations, and people like, oh, I'm not calling him when it's not about music. I had somebody say, an artist actually, not a producer, but oh, I don't want him to think I'm dick riding him and shit. Da, da, da. And I'm like then, because people don't get it, that it has to come from a genuine place. It has to come from, like, they have to know when you call that you already built. They know enough about you that that makes sense that Manny would call me to just check up on me and shit. Yo, he heard you was going through this. You know, everything good? You need anything? You know what I'm saying? Like, that makes sense that Manny would do that because Manny's that type of person and shit. So are you that type of person? Do people know you as that type of person that you genuinely care about people and shit? Or you just selfish, and when you do call, oh, this guy wants something and shit? I have people that call me, you know, and they, yo, how's this? How's that? And they trying to strike up conversation, and I know for a fact that they just want something and shit. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, tell me what you want in 3, 2, 1, and then the question comes, and I'm like, you really wasn't asking me about my personal situation. You was really calling to get to this, so you should have just got to that. You should have just led with that. So it's not dick riding, and I hate that freaking phrase. I don't know why I'm using it on my podcast, but just so y'all know what I'm talking about. If it's coming from a genuine place and the person you built the relationship with understands that you that type of person. So you just gotta be genuine. Be genuine. I know even in the past, when I've had like, there's certain regular jobs that I've had. If I hear, like, at one time I heard, one of the guys on my team, his daughter was sick, so he was out a couple days and stuff. And I didn't know what was going on. Somebody told me, no, he's cool, but his daughter's ill. He's been in the hospital with his daughter, whatever. So when he comes back to work, I'm the only one in the whole building that makes sure I get to him when he punches in and be like, yo, you good? I heard your daughter was sick. Is she cool now? You need anything? Let me know if you need anything, blah, blah, blah. Just checking up and shit, Even, like, I'll give you another perfect example on a regular job. I had a guy on my team that hated to fly. Oh my God, this dude was like shook to fly. But he used to fly to Florida to visit his mother once a year. And he would always tell us what time he's flying out and da-da-da-da-da. And every year I would text him right before he boarded the plane. Yo, have a safe flight. Don't worry. Everything's going to be good. You're going to get there safe. You're going to have a good time with your mom, da-da-da-da-da. So he would get a text from me to, yo, let him know everything's going to be all right. Don't worry and shit, like that type of stuff, like just building a caring culture, so to speak. I can think of I got a couple of stories I jotted down here, but another story at a regular job. I had a girl who was on my team, one of my best workers, most reliable, But like that year, she had a toddler at home. So that year, for some reason, her toddler was sick a lot, so she was missing a lot of days. The big boss was like, "Yo, Manny, if she misses one more day, we gotta let her go. This has been ongoing all year. We need to have somebody reliable on the team." I understood. Oh, I get it. A couple weeks later, she calls me and she's like, "Manny, I have no babysitter." Now this time the kid's not sick. She just babysitter didn't show up, so she couldn't. She worked second shift. She's like, "I can't go in today. I can't afford to lose this job." I said, "Hold on, give me 5 minutes." Boom, hung up. Sent out a text to the team. Yo, we don't need to lose her. She needs this job. She got the kid at home. She's a single mom. Blah 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 blah. 4 people from the team from this first shift left work and showed up at her house to babysit the kids so she could come to work. And they showed up with like stuffed animals and DVDs, Toy Story, and snacks, and watched the kid. And she showed up to work crying and shit. I'm at the job, she walking in crying. I'm like, "What? You okay with it?" "Nah, man, I can't believe people showed up. They don't want me to lose the job." And yo, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. To know that your team got you like that. So that's how you should look at your circle and build that kind of culture. Where there's no question your team got you. I got people around me that no matter what, yo, can we work this day? Let's work. We got to do this, this, and that. All right, and people should show up and shit. Let's work. But you got to have that mentality that you got to bring value to other people. That got to be the norm for you. Like you always got to think like if you meet somebody, even if they're a little more successful to you, they're at that level you're trying to get to next. Don't ever think like people right away think, "Oh, that person can help my career." "Oh, let me kiss his ass. So, cause if I'm around him a few times, then I'm gonna get this opportunity, that opportunity, or I can shoot my shot or whatever." A lot of times we don't think, "What can I do for him?" Damn, what could I do for him? I know, and you following his work and like, damn, yo, like the ads, the maybe you're good at copywriting, the verbiage that's on ads, and you see a lot of his Facebook ads. Yo, the ads could be, I'm gonna send you a few examples on some how you could tweak this verbiage to have more, more click-through rate on your ads and shit. I'm gonna send you this. Or maybe you do graphic design and see, "Oh, that flyer you just sent out was kind of shaky. Let me just send you a few examples of what I did, and I got you and shit. Let me just send you this and shit." Or you, the mix on those that you just dropped that beat, the mix. Send me the stems. I'll mix it and send it to you and shit. Just so you see what I could do, and then later on, if you need me for anything, I got you and shit. Don't worry and shit. Like always look to provide value. What can I do for you and shit? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even though that person's more successful than you, that don't mean they got a perfect team around them. That don't mean there's something not lacking. Maybe there's holes in the ship sometimes with the person more successful than you. And you could be that person that could put your finger in the hole and shit and trying to help out. and not for no monetary gain. Yo, I got you. Don't worry. I'm gonna send you this by tonight and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the type of mindset that we need to have. Like bringing value to other people and shit. You know what I'm saying? Even building. I was speaking to an entrepreneur, a couple of entrepreneurs in the same conversation, the three of us recently, and we're like, and I've heard this plenty of times before, where, damn, when I started building my business, I had to learn how to do everything. Had to manufacture the product. In our case, is the music. Learn how to do social media and learn how to do marketing and learn how to do this and learn how to do that. And all these aspects you learn how to do. And then as your business grows, the universe has a way of putting certain people in your path that'll help you. People will just show up. I've heard this plenty of times. People just show up in your path and be like, no, you need me to take care of this for you? I got you and shit. And people will just, a lot of people say, I've heard many people say like they didn't have to go out of their way to build a team because people just started showing up when like, damn, sometimes in my case, like I do so many different things that I'm like, damn, I wish I had this person to handle that, this person to handle that, but they say like once you get to certain levels, like those people will just come out of the woodwork. Like a lot of producers always ask, oh, should I get a manager? No, put in the work and a manager will show up. When there's something to manage, a lot of people early on think getting a manager will help. No, do the work, put in the work. And then when there's something to manage, trust me, you'll get noticed enough that a manager will show up and want to manage you. So just worry about doing the work and shit. And building that kind of culture and trying to bring value to other people first and all of that stuff, those good habits that we need to develop and make it part of who we are. You can't do any of that if you're an arrogant bastard and shit. I keep saying I'm not going to curse on this podcast, but sometimes there's no other way to put it and shit. If you're selfish, none of that's going to work. If you're arrogant, none of that's going to work. If you're more focused on building this fake facade of who you are and when you're not really that person, none of that's going to work. We need to have like a self-awareness to be true to who we really are and where we're at. What part of the journey are we at? Because really, you could be pushing people away. Like you could really be pushing people away because you got this fake facade and you're being arrogant and people think, yo, he's good. He don't need my help. He's good and shit. And you not nowhere. You really need people to help. So you're building this whole thing and you're being this arrogant person and all you're doing is pushing people away. And the right people, the universe will send, or whatever you believe in, the universe, the man upstairs will send people and you'll just sidestep your blessings. You know what I'm saying? Which don't make no kind of sense and shit. We just got to make sure that we got our head screwed on right and we're doing things for the right reasons. We're being genuine. We're trying to give more than we're trying to take. And that's what I wanted to touch on today. I'll give you one quick story and then I'll head out. I'll let you people go and shit. I had a friend of mine tell me about this artist, and I've told this story before, so I'll leave names out, so there's no issues. He came by himself one day, and he tells me, yo, I'm working for this artist. I really would like you to meet him. I'm sure there's something you could add to the team. He's doing this, he's doing that. He's super talented, singer, songwriter, da, da, da. He plays some music for me. I'm like, damn, the dude is polished, like talented. Music sounded radio ready and shit. Like, yo, he's like, yo, he got this and this and this going on. You got that and that going on. If there's some way we could help, you look out for us. We'll look out for you. Da, da, da. It was like he was on the right mindset. Like, let's help each other out and shit. Sign me up. That kind of situation. Sign me up and shit. A few days later, he brings the artist by. The artist plays some more music for me. Dope, talented artist. He sings. He starts singing. Goes into full concert singing. Sang a few songs and told me about what songs he was writing. And, I just started writing to this one. Started playing some instrumentals and sung a whole bunch of stuff. He had no problem just going into full song and performing and letting me know what he was Because we started to talk, and what could you bring? And at the time, I was like just getting started and knee deep in learning the whole marketing process of things and da. And I was like, well, I'm looking at who's around him, and I'm like, I don't think this guy got nobody handling his marketing. Like, I felt that could make a big difference if I handled. I said, yeah, well, I could. If you need, I can handle the marketing part of it. If that's what you need me to do and shit. No big deal. And then you sing a songwriter. We end up in the studio one day, and you write, performing or recording on one of my joints. Like, we could just help each other and shit. So sign me up and shit. But then his attitude was a lot different than my friend's attitude a few days before, where he was like straight up, well, what could you do for me? And it was at that second I knew I wasn't gonna work with him and shit. Even though we exchanged numbers and there would have been nothing would have ever came of it if he called. Trust me and shit. Like, I don't need to be part of those situations where you're that cocky. You're just meeting me. You don't even know nothing about me and shit. You don't really know what I've done, who I've worked with, nothing about me, literally. And you're like, think I need you for something and shit. Like, he walked in that arrogant. You came to see me and shit. Like, please. That kind of stuff, we really need to like be conscious of that kind of stuff. If you're that type of person, look in the mirror. Y'all know who you are. Y'all ain't really did nothing, but y'all walking around here, it's okay to, put on the persona for your friends and your family members, and not even that, but when you're trying to build relationships with people, but you walking around like you don't need nobody, then to this day, that guy still don't have nobody doing his marketing, still haven't done anything to really push the needle in his career. And I'm not saying that, if I would have been down with him, he would have treated me right and I would have helped him get on. And I'm not even saying that, please, but I'm sure I could have helped. So just be conscious of that. I wanted to talk about that today. All right, people. Another good one in the books and shit. Let me let y'all go. Everybody have a good day. Be blessed. And y'all know how we do. Dare to be great, people. Peace.